There is nothing new under the sun. This is a saying we've probably all heard. It comes from the book of Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament. The author, who's believed to be King Solomon, examines many facets of life and gives some conclusions on how to live well. I'd like to share some thoughts from this book because its author has a lot more life experience than I do. But first, I'd like to thank some people, which I'm sure you guys were expecting since, as I said, there's nothing new under the sun, and this is a graduation speech. First, I'd like to start by thanking our faculty and staff here at Mid-Atlantic Christian University, as well as those who have joined them through cooperative programs, who have taught us, the students of the class of 2020, with diligence. And I would also like to thank everyone who has supported us, whether financially or through encouragement and prayer. For me, that's a big thanks to mom and dad and family and friends and some of the faculty and staff here too. So for everyone who has played a role in that, for everyone who has encouraged and supported a student here, thank you, and please don't stop. We still need your prayers. A lot of unexpected things have happened this year. Worldwide coronavirus pandemic, race riots and demonstrations. It's just a couple of the big things that has affected some of our lives. However, as is said in Ecclesiastes 1:9, what has been will be again, what has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Disease and racism and many other evil things aren't new, as we all know. And we'll face the effects of sin throughout the rest of our lives, as we have until now. Ecclesiastes notes several types of unfair things, including wickedness in the place of justice, and, quote, the righteous perishing in their righteousness, and the wicked living long in their wickedness. However, after looking at what the world had to offer, the bad and the good, the author of Ecclesiastes has to say this. Now all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. This is what we, the class of 2020, should also do. Another verse that comes to mind when I think of how I should live comes from the New Testament. Colossians 3:17 says, whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Personally, I'm not sure what comes next for me. I sometimes get stressed thinking about the details of life, even though I try to keep the big picture in mind. And maybe some of you are in that same boat. Maybe some of you have plans, and that's great. Maybe some of you had plans, and now they're all messed up. So I'd like you to keep in mind this last part of Ecclesiastes that I'm going to read to you. It says, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to speak and a time to be silent. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. I don't know what time it is for you. I'm not quite sure what time it is for me either. But I hope that each of us lives each moment trusting in God as we go through this unpredictable and messy world. Now, as we come to a close, I'd like to reflect on some times we've had here at MACU specifically. So, there's been a time to meet new people and a time to say goodbye. There's been a time to cry over homework and a time to procrastinate. Take a break. There's been a time for River Day and a time for finals week, a time to work hard and a time to hang out with friends. There's been a time to party together and a time to pray together. And now it's time to graduate. So thank you, and God bless you all, my fellow students.